Hello, 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 hello again. God bless everybody. Hopefully, everybody having a good day. First day of school. Know it's busy summer, and now the kids are going back to school. Well, today, this video, I'm gonna be talking about the Carolina rig. I chose the Carolina rig to talk about a lot because when I usually do videos, only thing I talk about is the Texas rig, and I think those videos get old because everybody know what a Texas rig is. And for those that don't, I would do a video or showing you how to rig up a Texas rig. Um, Today's video discussion basically is about the Carolina rig. The Carolina rig, I think, has been forgotten throughout the fishing industry. The pros really don't talk about it as much. Uh, they don't really fish it as much, but for us and for guys like me, especially bank anglers, the Carolina rig can be an absolute blast in your arsenal of techniques to use. Um, the only thing about it, it's easy. It's very easy to fish a Carolina rig. Carolina rig is not um, a difficult um, technique to fish. I mean, it's not even hard to set up. You want to take your standard. Right here I have, rod a little long. Right here, this is a 7.3. I can't get it all right in the camera because I'm actually doing this video off my phone. But this is 7.3 H2OX Premier Heavy Action Rod. It's fast, heavy power rod, fast action. Um, this is my Carolina rig setup. I can get it in the camera, and it's paired off with a 6-4-1 gear ratio Magic. Hey, this is called the Magic. Hey, cut it out, dogs. This is called the Magic S baitcaster called the MSS real baitcaster reel. Anyway, I have it spooled up with red Cajun monofilament line. It's a 6-4-1 gear ratio reel. This is what I usually my setup. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, this is what I use for my Texas rig. I use it for, of course, this my use it for Carolina rigs. I throw spinner baits on here. I throw chowder baits on here. I throw jigs on here. I do a lot with this one setup, and I have two of these rods, and the other rod I have like this is paired up with an Abu Garcia 6.5-1. But anyway, this is a 7.3 heavy powered fast action rod paired up with a Magic S 6-4-1 bait caster. Really nice setup. Um, it's not going to break the bank. It's not a break the bank combo deal, but it can get the job done. The rod itself is fairly light, and you can see, you got a longer rod handle right here. So, castability, more control, extra grip. It helps me out. It's a longer rod, and for guys like myself, like bank fishing, I usually don't go over 7 foot, but this is the longest rod I have. Is a 7.3, and I have two of them, and I love them for different things, different applications, different techniques. It all works well. Um, Basically, the Carolina rig, since I was talking, this is what the whole video was about, because I said earlier when I was fishing, I caught a fish on this exact same setup. It was about a pound, maybe a pound and a half fish. But, and excuse me, I'm doing this in the house, in my room, because out there, it's kind of noisy. We got company, so I want to get somewhere a little quiet. But so excuse the lighting if the lighting's not proper right now. And I'm doing this off my phone. Okay, I'll get this set up so it won't really fall and break nothing. Okay, Carolina rig. This is your basic Cal. I'm gonna get the hook out my hand first. This is the setup of a Carolina rig. Okay, my main line is 14-pound test red Cajun monofilament. Right, I usually use 20-pound or 17-pound fluorocarbon for the setup, but for the area I was fishing, I went a little lighter. Okay, so the object of this, you thread. This is an edge sinker, regular old 3/8 ounce lead sinker. You know, tungsten make theirs, but you can afford tungsten, go ahead. I have a couple myself, but lead can work tungsten better, of course, way better, but lead can get the job done too. Okay, so this is a 3/8 ounce edge sinker. Edge sinker. It's up my main line. This is a bead. It's a plastic bead. I don't use glass too much because I learned the thing about glass beads that they tend to nick at your line. Okay, that's your bead. This right here is a swivel. I think this is size 1. I want to say swivel, right? And then that's led down to my. It's probably not even a foot. My leader's short because the water I was fishing was kind of dark, so I needed a shorter leader. But anyway, this is a leader line. Okay, so you have a swivel. You have your main line first. Then you have your edge sinker that you put on. Okay, then you put the edge sinker on first. Then behind the edge sinker you have a glass or plastic bead. I say plastic is better. Bead. Okay, or you can do it beadless. Uh, but I just do it with the bead. That's how I was taught about the whole rig. So bead. Okay. Then with the bead, you could attach your main line to the swivel, which is at the end. Okay, that's your swivel. You tie one end to your main line of the swivel, then the other end of the swivel, you tie your leader line. However you want to make, however long you want that leader line to be. So this is a 7'3" rod, so I can actually have a pretty long leader, but I don't need that long of a leader. You know, it's gonna be uh, even harder to cast. You have to log cast it. So I kind of shorten up my leaders a little bit. I play with my leaders a little bit depending on what kind of water I'm fishing in, uh, especially water clarity. Okay, clear water, I absolutely have a longer leader. You know, so darker water. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice a little bit. I don't know why, but darker water, I kind of keep a short leader. Anyway, moving forward, I have a size 2. I don't think camera can really focus on that hook right up. This is a size 2 offset round bend worm hook. For what I learned, you know, you want to have at least a lot of wire hook for this technique because the hook doesn't uh, um, weigh the. I got to retie this knot, but the hook doesn't weigh the bait down. You can use the lightest wire hook as possible. It's possible, you know, because for one, your weight is not even attached to your leader line. Okay, back to the leader line. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'll post. This is 20-pound fluorocarbon line for my leader line. Okay, um, I know my main line is 14-pound test. It's monofilament. It got stretch. It helps. You know, I have learned a little thing with that. Um, this is fluorocarbon line, 20-pound fluorocarbon line here. It doesn't have that much stretch, but it's way more sensitive than monofilament. So that's why I got it as a leader line, and that's why a lot of the times fluorocarbon is my main line. But in this particular situation, it's my leader line. Okay, this is a size 2. Size 2, like I said, offset worm hook, round bend worm hook. Okay, light wire hook. Wait, excuse me. I don't know, it's a bug or something here. But anyway, the lighter wire hook is good because it's not heavy, so it ain't gonna drag your bait down with your weight. You kind of want your lure, your soft plastic off the bottom a little bit. It's not gonna be way up there in the water column like most people think of Carolina red. Like, okay, the weight down, it's dragging the bottom, and your bait floating way up like this. It's not like that. You know, when you drop it down in the water, you can see that your weight is on the bottom, and the longer your leader, the farther back your plastic gonna be. Okay, so it's not actually floating as high as people think. It's actually just hovering right up above, off the bottom a little bit. Okay, so with the weight, the added weight, the bigger size weight, the heavier your weight, the you know the heavier you go on your line. This 14-pound test, so this 3/8 ounce egg weight is perfect. Okay, it's a little light for this line, but it was perfect for today. So as long as this weight is heavy enough to allow me to keep bottom contact, and I wasn't fishing way deep out there, just deep enough to catch a fish, that's all you really need. As long as you have a heavier weight to keep bottom contact and you can feel everything on the bottom. That's one thing I wanted to mention about the Carolina rig. If you want to know what's on the bottom of the lake you fishing, this is the best rig to use. A lot of people usually use this technique around brush piles and all that other stuff, uh, rock bottoms and stuff, hard bottoms and stuff like that, which is ideal spots to throw a Carolina rig. You really don't want to throw it on a really soft soot bottom, you know, really that them kind of bottoms that really have that soot kind of stuff on the bottom, because it's just gonna clog your bait up. I mean, when you pull your line in, you're gonna have everything is gonna be covered up. Even your soft plastic is gonna be covered in all that goop. So it's not good, you know. So and then you can't catch no fish because the fish can't see your soft plastic. The ideal of a Carolina rig is how you fish this setup is basically you cast out. You know, you make a pretty long cast, lob cast. I suggest a lob cast. Um, if you have a shorter leader like mine, then you can cast it regularly. And don't think because this is a bait caster setup, don't think you can't throw the same technique on a spinner rod. You can. That's how I learned a lot about what I'm talking about today is from spinner rod. Spinner rod was the first rod reel combo in my hand. That's what I got taught how to fish with is a spinner rod. I converted over to the bait caster, and I'm still learning fairly much about the bait casters. But um, I love them both. You know, I love them both. So you can throw this same thing I'm talking about, the same setup on the spinner rod. If you don't know how to throw a spinner rod, I mean, throw a bait caster, excuse me, I suggest that you get a spinning rod and do this on. You can work on a spinning rod as well because for one, it's a slow technique. It's a slow fishing style. You're really just dragging this bait along the bottom, you know, uh, at a time, you know, let it settle back down, reel up your slack, drag it some more, settle back down, you know, reel up your slack. So it's a very slow technique and it's very productive and it's good in times like this, like when it's real hot. Excuse me, I'm gonna get a sip of my coffee right quick. I'm an old pal back up, but it's a real slow presentation. It's a real slow method of fishing, and it can catch nice fish. Everybody that I have I have seen fishing a Carolina rig, they be catching big pound, like 9, 8 pound fish, you know, 10 pound fish. So a lot of people catch their PBs. But if you're gonna go for the bigger fish, this is the right technique to do. I know a Carolina rig can do a lot. You can cover water. You can fish it around. You can fish it in. You can fish it out deep because that's what it is. It's a deep fishing technique. It's designed to fish on the bottom. Whoever came out with this rig was a mastermind in the fishing game to me. Um, It's just like it's a vice versa of the Texas rig. Only thing about the T rig, about the Texas rig, the weight is not sitting on your bait, you know. So it's the same way. I mean, Texas rig is a very versatile style of way to fish. It's the easiest technique. It's the easiest way to learn how to bass fish. It's like the opening doors to fishing is the Texas rig. That's the first technique. If anybody gonna teach you how to fish, they gonna put a spinner rod or a bait caster in your hand, either or. They gonna throw the Texas rig on you. You can go from there. Um, for me, Texas rigs, I fish a lot of vegetation. I'm the type of guy, I love fishing grass. So grass is my master. That's what I love. I love fishing grass. I love fishing big worms. I love fishing creature baits. I love fishing all those things. But a lot of the techniques, a lot of the baits and lures that I use, I can't really fish around grass with them. Top waters like frogs, I can fish lily pads with them, sprouts, grass, and anything on top. The walking baits, the sexy, the what it is, I got it in my tackle box. It's the sexy dog from KVD. I got two of those walking baits. You know, you can throw that up and around vegetation, depending. You know, dense vegetation, sparse vegetation. But that's another topic for another time. Talking about the Carolina rig. Okay, it's kind of hard to try to separate the two because I really don't do that. It's times when the Texas rig gonna shine. It's times when the Carolina rig gonna shine. It's times when a Senko racket rig gonna shine, or minnow style, or drop shot, or swim bait, or what they call mid stroke, crank bait, spinner bait. All that stuff has its times when it works the best, right? So you cannot out none of those. But what I have seen, what I have seen over the years is like everybody talk about all these different techniques and all this and all that, but they never mention anything about the C rig, the Carolina rig. I think the Carolina rig has been tossed out. I mean, I think it's been forgotten, you know, and it took me a while to get back into the Carolina rig because for one, my uncle taught me how to bass fish, right? My uncle taught me how to bass fish. My daddy taught me how to fish, just if we want to separate the two. But all around the board, both of those guys played a big factor in my life growing up as fishermen. So that's how I learned how to fish. Um, anyway, the Carolina rig, I think it's been forgotten. I think a lot of guys don't really fish it too much no more, or that not that I know of. Probably do. It's just because it's different. I mean, it's a slow technique. It's a you have is if you have to fish slow with a Carolina rig in order for you to catch fish. I mean, you fish it fast, you ain't gonna catch as many fish. I mean, you know, you gonna just probably pull your bait all past that fish. You know, when it's hot, they ain't gonna want to chase too much. Sometimes now, if they are very aggressive, then you might want to make those pulls in between your reel, and when you're reeling it in, you want to probably make those quicker pulls. I mean, drags on the bottom. That way you can have that whatever you got on the back will be right behind. But if you slow it down, 10 times out of 10, you'll catch a fish all the time, most of the time. Not most of the time, but all the time. And a lot of times those gonna be those real big lethargic bass that you ain't even know was in your lake. I mean, you have a 12, 11-pound bass in your lake. You never knew it was in there until you throw a Carolina rig and go get that fish. What I learned, big bass are not as active or as the smaller 5, 6, and 4 pounds and 3 pounds and 2 pound bass. You know, you can catch them on the regular. Um, the bigger the bass seem like the smarter they are. Big bass usually stay hugged to the bottom. They on the bottom somewhere, off on behind a rock, in a hole, up on in some brush, whatever they might be laying in. And I think the sea rig is the only way you can get those bigger fish to bite. I mean, it's proven. I mean, I watch YouTube videos, of course. You know, I watch guys that fish. I learn from YouTube videos, but this is something that I didn't learn from YouTube. This is something that I've forgotten about. And I watched the YouTube video. I'm like, oh man, that's the Carolina rig. I hadn't thrown it in years. So I went back to it. I haven't caught a big fish on it, but it can catch big fish, you know? So it's a big fish catcher. With that being said, it's like certain baits that I use. Well, a sea rig. I mean, every fisherman have their own, baits for different techniques, what they throw for certain things. But with me, I kind of line the Carolina rig up with the Texas rig. Whatever I throw in the T rig, I throw in the Carolina rig. But There's a lot of times that I do throw different baits on the Carolina rig than I do on the Texas rig. To me, they work a little better. Okay. I got a couple in here. I'm gonna get out right quick. Like, see, I'm gonna pull out these. Yeah, right here first. I went fishing this morning. I got a late start. And it got hot, real hot, like 92 degrees, and I was like, man, it's time to go. But okay, these are the Zoom lizards. This is like one of my baits that I use, soft plastics that I use for on the sea rig. I love the lizards. This is another bait I want to talk about. These lizards, I think have got forgotten too, due to the creature bait. I'm gonna pull that out in a minute. But this is a 6-inch June bug from Zoom Lizard, made by Zoom. June bug is my favorite color area. This is another pack of Zoom Lizards, sharp black with a chartreuse tail. I can't really say that word real clear, y'all, so bear with me. You know. So where is okay? This is the one I use today. So this one look like. I mean, this lure look like, black chartreuse. Basic old lizard. You know, and I like it because with me on the Carolina rig, I want some kind of action. I want some kind of action back there. That tail. I want that tail action. So I love. A lot of people call it cut tail, but I call it a ribbon tail. I like that tail action, that kick. It's very subtle in the waters. It's enough action to generate a bite. And that's what these type of baits are what I use on my Carolina rigs. And in ribbon tail. I don't care if it's a ribbon tail worm or a lizard. That's what I like. I like a bait with a little subtle action. So these are two. Hey, cut it out. These are two. By the way, y'all, I got 5 people. 3 in the room with me right now. I should have put them out there when I did this video, but they're all right. What I was going to say, but these are the 2 primary, like my go-to soft plastic lures, baits, what I use on the Carolina rig. It's gonna be a lizard. Another one that plays a big role too. Got 2 packs. Would you calm your butt down? These are H2O. I like H2O. Matter of fact, I got a couple of baits. I got a couple of rods and reels. These are the H2O. These are the brush hogs. And then I use these. I don't know if they call theirs brush hogs or not. I think they just call them a creature bait. Yeah. Creature bait, brush hog, whatever. But these are 2 baits that outside of the lizard, I will throw 2 on the back of a Carolina rig. Not only that, on the Texas rig too, because of, like I say, that subtle action. That subtle action. That subtle action. Little 4-inch. I think it's 4-inch or 3-inch. I think these are 3 inches. I want to say. What, 4-inch? 4-inch. It's 12 in a pack. Little 4-inch. 4-inch creature bait. I mean, this creature bait is good on back of a Carolina rig. This is good. It is a lot of pros, a lot of people. Well, I ain't gonna say pros because I don't know, but fishermen I see that I know that know how to do that flip a lot. They use flip these a lot in heavy vegetation, stuff like that. In grass and stuff like that. But I usually fish them on the back of a Carolina rig, Texas rig, and what they call the split shot rig. This bait is awesome, but it works better if I'm fishing this soft plastic on the Texas rig, I'm usually fishing it around grass, and I have at least a 3/8 to maybe 3/8 to a 3/16 is where I go with. 3/16 is lighter, 3/8 is a little heavier, so it depends on where I'm fishing. Sorry, where I'm fishing at I'll go up or down on my weight size. So that's that's four. That's four on what I like to use on the sea rig. Um, here's another one. I got another one in here too. I like throwing on the sea rig. This is a big worm. This is a 10-inch. This also H2O. Ribbon tail. This is green pumpkin, one of my favorite colors, and this is watermelon red. Watermelon red, and these were June bugs. Just put on. Now, if I'm really going for the big fish, this is like the biggest worm that I have. Some 11-inch and 12-inch Zoom monsters, old monsters in there too in my other tackle bag. But I tried these. This H2O. I like them, you know. So they got a lot of salt in it too. So this is like if I'm really going for that real big monster, this will catch that lake monster. This will catch the biggest bass in your lake. This 10-inch worm on the back of a sea rig. And a lot of pros, not pros, I want to say a lot of fishermen, usually when they fishing a Carolina rig, this is the type of worm. This is what they throwing on the back of that thing is a trailer, man. Big 12, 11-inch worm, and this is a 10-inch. This is a 10-inch worm. So that's when I'm out there gaming for big fish. If I'm out there looking for big fish on a sea rig or even on a Texas rig, I'll go with that worm right there. But those, like I say, everything I have, as you can see, is basically the same when it comes to the tail action. The only thing different with that sort of action are the creature baits. But worm wise, everything is basically the same. And I think I have talked about these before. I haven't used them yet, but I'm gonna get to it. Trust it. This is another one, and this is 8-inch. This is like a smaller size, 8-inch ribbon tail. I throw this also on the back of a Carolina rig. And the same's supposed to float, but I doubt if it's gonna float like people think. Carolina rig gonna float way up here. It's not gonna float. It might float a little higher off the bottom because it's a floating worm, but it's not gonna float way up there. Probably just gonna hover a little higher off the bottom than your average plastic do because it doesn't have a lot of salt in it. So it's not gonna sink like the rest of those baits. It will float a little better. And if I want to keep my bait off the bottom a little bit more, I will throw this on the back of the Carolina rig. Just a great bottom worm. That's how I kind of classify my bait. You know, I got baits that I can drag on the bottom that tends to float a little higher. I mean, a little lower to the bottom. Or suspend a couple of inches off the bottom or whatnot. But if I want my bait to stay off the bottom, I'll throw one of them on there because it tends to float a little higher than the rest of these because they got salt and this one has salt, so it's gonna sink a little bit more. This one has no salt, so it's gonna float a lot more than this one. This one is gonna be just suspended off the bottom, hovering on the bottom a little bit. It's gonna not hug the bottom, but it's just gonna be off the bottom just by a couple inches. This one here, I really don't know, but I'm just gonna estimate that it's gonna float off a little higher off the bottom than this will, because this has salt and this doesn't. So that's how I'm gonna put that in there. One more, couple more really. the old Yum. This is the Yum. This is the Yum. Let me see. It's an old pack. Matter of fact, it's the Yum. I don't know if the camera gonna focus on that. Y'all guys can see it. I can get it up. The Yum Dinger Swimmer. Swimming Dinger. Okay, Yum Dinger is the swimming kind with the boot tail on the back of it. This is another one that I use on the back of a Carolina rig or anything. I'm just saying this baits I use for sea rigs. I use Texas rig, whatever I want to throw on, spinner bait jig, whatever. But talking about the T rig and I mean the Carolina rig and that subtle action out that tail is a plus. Cause you dragging this you dragging because it say recommended on the pack that you can fish it. It's a Texas rig, Carolina rig, weightless as a swimming worm or as a spinner bait or jig trailer. So I read that out because you can throw these on the back of a Carolina rig, and when you dragging it, that little subtle movement, like that is what you need. That's all it takes. It's all it takes. Because the longer your trailer, the farther that bait away from your weight. So it's gonna hang out there. Sometimes it's good to have a long leader. Sometimes it's good to have a little shorter leader than average. As long as I go leader wise is probably 2 feet. Anything over 2 feet, out of my league. So I really don't go over 2 feet. What else? Oh yeah. Can't forget these guys. Guggen, the Bandito bug. This guy, I love this guy. I mean, I got I don't know how many packs of these. I got them so many packs, I can't even use them all. Barely even use this pack up. I think I only lost one. And I got a whole nother pack of the same color, which is black and blue. Yeah. Black and blue flake. Black with blue flake. Bandito bug. I love this bait. I love it. Those claws. These little flippers right here. On the back of a Carolina rig. Dragging this thing on the bottom. And I'll go with the EGW, the extra wide gap hook with these. At least a 3/0 ED extra wide gap hook with these. Always. I don't know, but I learned that I always use extra wide gap hooks on all of my creature baits. My hookup ratio is plus when I use an extra wide gap hook. But this guy on the back of the sea rig, dragging him through. Oh man, these all just the flipping. It's great. But I usually use these on the Texas rig. On the T rig. Matter of fact, me and my friend had a competition one day on the lake. I caught 5 fish off a Bandito bug. And as you can see, one is missing. So I tell you, that 6 fish really wanted that bait. Okay, that's the Bandito bug. And by the way, I'm not sponsored by anybody, but I love Guggen baits. Guggen, Zoom, and H2O. By far, my likes. I like it. And Gary Yamamoto, I like them. Yamamoto, I like them. I found these guys online, on Amazon shopping, looking around for something. I couldn't find black worm that I liked in it. So I found this company, Charlie's Worms. I found them on Amazon, and they had just what I wanted. I got another pack. I got the floating worm, trick worm from them too. So I'm just showing you guys what I like, the brands that I like. Anyway, I'm not sponsoring or sponsored by anybody but myself. But no, I don't get nothing for this. I do it because I love it and I love sharing. And I like y'all. So those are other kind of, oh yeah. And these, I talked about Carolina Red, but this, the grape, everybody know who these is. I shouldn't even have to say it. Everybody know who come what. Yeah, Gary Omoto. So everybody know who that is. So stick bait. That is it. Sometimes I throw these on a Carolina Red. Only reason because it really don't have no action. You know, it's just this just gonna just do nothing. Excuse me. It's just a do nothing worm. It does nothing. So in the fall time, this is when I really use that worm. And I don't think it'll show up, but it's a real light green on the belly of this worm. This is the green pumpkin red flake, I believe. Yeah, green pumpkin red flake. And this is like a real like neon sharpshooter looking green on the bottom in the water. I used to throw these on a wacky jig or just straight weightless. Or sometimes I put it on the 1/8 to 1/16, depending on how I'm fishing it. And I'm usually fishing this around in shallow water. This what I use on my spinning gear. So I kind of have the baits that I use on different rods and reels. I have different. See, with these, I throw more on my spinning gear. Big ones. These, like this, I throw on my bait house. It's just me, but anyway. But yeah, these big 10-inch worm if you want to go for the big fish. And if you want to go for big fish, also the 8-inch will work too. I mean, any one of these baits, soft plastics will catch you a nice monster bass in a given time, in the right moment. Just got to be in the right, like they say, right place, right time. Hey, you'll catch that big monster bass. So that was more about the sea rig, you know, the Carolina rig. I talk so much about the Texas rig that I want to talk about something else, and plus I just wanted to do something. I'm trying to get, you know, I just want to put I ain't gonna say myself, but I just want to share my knowledge of what I know a little bit about fishing with others, you know. So with that being said, I'm about to wrap up this video, and just remember, guys, the guys that don't know how to do a Carolina rig, maybe the next time I do a video, I'll go get more in depth with it and just rig the whole thing up as I'm doing it on the video, you know, as I'm filming, because I'm doing this video off my phone. I also have a GoPro that I never take when I go fishing, but I will, because I want to give you guys some on the water footage too. So it's just like I said, when I go fishing, man, I don't think about grabbing no cameras or nothing like that. I just go fishing. And if I catch a fish, I usually just take a picture, release it, or I might just do a short and that's it. But hey, I love to fish. So when I'm fishing, I'm fishing. I ain't got time to film, you know. So anyway, like I said, the Carolina rig is very, 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 it's just a backwards. To me, it's just a backwards Texas rig. But like I said, I'm going back through this again for the guys that maybe don't know. So I'm gonna go through it, but another time I'm gonna do a whole video on how to rig this thing from beginning to the end. Okay? And you can vary whatever kind of soft plastic you wanna use, but with me, I don't know. I just don't figure it out. my ins and outs. I just don't figure out what I like and what I don't like, and what I do and what I don't do. That's all. So with that, like I said, I'm not going over 2 feet. And this is not even 2 feet long. It's probably not even a foot, probably a couple inches. Uh, with the leader length, I mean, some guys have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 inch leaders. I don't, the longer the leader, the longer your rod gonna have to be. This is a 7'3" rod, so I can actually have at least about a 4-foot leader on here. But I don't need that. It's not a lot of clear water where I'm fishing at. If I'm fishing in super clear water out here in Florida, in Orlando, Florida somewhere, maybe, yeah, then I'll go with a long leader. But I'm not going over 2 feet. That is it. If I go over 2 feet, then hey, I'm knocking my own self in the head. But um, this is, like I said, I'm gonna take you from the beginning to the end of how to rig a Carolina rig. So I just want to discuss this one more time before I cut this video. Uh, before I cut this video, and hopefully y'all, I don't know, maybe I help somebody out there, or maybe not. I don't know. But all your thing you're gonna start off with, of course, you want to use the right amount of line. Like if you're gonna go for big fish, this is a heavy rod. So yeah, this is the first thing you want to start off with. Good rod, some good strong line, and a good old spinner or a bait caster. Power. Power. That's what you need. So spinning rods have a lot of power. And the best people matter of fact, I know that make spinning rods are our Penn. I'm gonna get back into this, okay? But our Penn, Shimano, Daiwa, uh, it's another one. I can see it, but I can't get it off. Quantum. They make good spinning rods, okay? So Daiwa and Shimano be your number 2 choices if you want to jump out there in the spinning world, okay? And before I wrap this video up, I always do, like, if you want to start fishing, where to start at thing. So I'm gonna do that again before I end this video. I do it in every video, okay? But anyway, first of all, you want to start off with some good line, which this is 14 pounds. You can go with braid if you want to, okay? Then you have your edge sinker. This right here, your edge sinker first, okay? Then your bead. This right here, your bead, okay? Sinker first, bead, swivel. Then you tie your main line, the end of your main line, to the end of this swivel right here, okay? Then you get whatever length you want, or whatever pound test line you want for a leader. Okay, I leave that up to y'all. If you want to leave whatever's long, however long you want your leader, you can make your leader as long as you want to. I leave it up to the guy, to y'all, to whoever want to try this technique. I leave the leader length and all that up to you. The pounds up to you, okay? To me, you can use whatever you want. Okay, so now you tie one end of the leader line to the other end of your swivel. Okay, come down and you tie one end, the other end of your leader to the hook you're gonna use. Okay, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna make this clear that please remember to use the lightest wire hook that you can get away with when doing this, because the heavier wire hook the bait is not gonna, it's just gonna drag on the bottom right along with your weight. So you at least want to use a lot of wire hook, that way that when you dragging your plastic on the bottom, it's not dragging down with your weight. At least you can it come up at least a couple inches off the bottom. Okay, like I said, I'm gonna stress this a lot because a lot of guys think the worm be way up here. It doesn't. It don't. It don't be floating up there like this. It doesn't. Okay, it just stay very close contact with the bottom with the weight, And the less salt in your plastic, the more you might get a little bit more float out of it. But it's still not going to float like this. It's not going to do that. It's just going to not hug the bottom, an inch, millimeter, inch off the bottom. Okay, that's all you need. But light wire hook to get you more fish. Okay. That being said, I'm gonna wrap this video up, and hopefully, uh, first before I wrap this video up, if you're a beginner, okay, just getting into bass fishing, okay, don't go get yourself one of these. I'm 45 years old, and I just learned how to use one of these, and I've been fishing all my life, and I always had a spinning rod, and that's why I learned. So if you want to start with a bait caster, go ahead. Start off with the bait caster. But like I said, I'm 45 and I'm still learning this. 3 years, I love them though. Okay, I mean it has changed my fishing so much, but I can do a whole lot more on the spinning setup than I can with this. But you still can do the same. All right. So, guy, fresh out the gate fishing. Don't know too much about fishing. Okay, I mean, it's a lot of people on YouTube you can listen to. There's a lot of pros on YouTube. There's a lot of guys on YouTube. There's a lot of influencers on YouTube that can tell you the same thing I'm finna tell you right now. Probably just with more experience and detail and knowledge, but the same exact thing. Okay, if you're gonna start out bass fishing, don't make it complicated. It's very easy. Just because you see these guys saying this and that and this and you need this and you need that and this, you don't need all that. You just need you. Okay, that's all you need. You just need you. All right, you need you and only you. All right, that's all you need. So with me, when I started off, my uncle gave me a 6 foot spinning rod. I ain't even start with no what they call a spin cast. We call them push buttons. All right. I had a lot of them because that's what I use when I go bluegill fishing. But anyway, sum it all up. Okay, spinning gear. I grew up calling them open face, but it's spinning gear. Okay, my uncle started me off with a 6 foot medium spinning rod. You know, rod with I think it was like a 5.3 Shimano reel. Good, very good. I still got it. Good. Um, that's what you want to start off with because spinning gear is way easier. It's not as complicated as a bait caster. See, with a bait caster, it's a lot to learn with a bait caster. I ain't even go to YouTube to learn how to cast a bait caster. Trust me, I done went through all the mistakes that you can make with one of these when I started using it because I wanted my own experience of that. All right, so the rod, spinning reel is less complicated than the bait caster. Bait casters can be very easy to learn how to use depending on the brand you use and how you adjust everything. Your drag, your spool tension knob, which is this right here. Your drag is right there. Your braking system is on the side. See, with this braking system, it's made a little different, you know. But the way you adjust your brakes is going to help you fishing. If you decrease your brakes, the more you're gonna have to learn how to work that spool with that thumb, you know. So you don't want to, like me. I used to press down so hard on my spool, it ain't go nowhere. So I had to learn how to just sometimes you can just do this, or you can feather that spool as it go out, okay, and you can stop it whenever. I mean, bait casters, man, they great, they great, they great. You can do a whole lot with them. Um, But beginner wise, fresh out the dough, go with a spinner rod. spinning rod, spinning combo. Let's say spinning combo. Okay, so you really probably want to start with I say a medium heavy, a 7 foot medium heavy, or anything in the 6'6", or 6'6" medium heavy. Uh, 7 foot medium heavy would be good, and one of those sizes, a 6'6" to a 7 foot medium heavy rod. Oh, excuse me again. It would be good. Hold on, I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee. That'd be good. That is perfect because a medium heavy spinner rod, you can learn all this stuff. You can throw Carolina rigs, you can throw Texas rigs, you can drop shots, you can throw spinner baits, you can throw chatter baits, you can throw lipless crankbaits, you can throw crankbaits, you can uh everything. You can do everything you need with a spinner rod when learning. Don't make it complicated. Don't make it difficult at all. Because first thing I did when I started off fishing with crankbaits, I didn't use one of these. I ain't learn how to. I ain't learn how to use a crankbait or fish a crankbait on one of these. I learned how to fish crankbait on a spinner rod. I ain't learned how to throw a spinner bait and chatter bait on one of these. I learned all that stuff on spinner rods. So on spinning gear combos. I'm gonna say it like that, on spinning combos. So that's how I learned all of that stuff. All right. So make it easy on yourself. Take the baby steps. Like they say, you gotta walk before you crawl. Okay? You can't crawl. I mean walk then crawl. So I'm gonna rephrase that. You gotta crawl before you walk. You can't walk before you crawl. Okay? So you gotta crawl first, then you go work your way up. All right, you can walk all the way up. Okay, so I started off crawling too. We all have. So I'm still crawling a little bit. So it's okay. We'll get to walking in a minute. All right. Um, but don't make fishing complicated because it's not complicated. It's very, very easy to do. I don't care what level you trying to take your fishing game to. If you just want to fish for fun, you want to fish the GoPro or whatever, just don't make it complicated. It's not complicated. It's very easy. Very, very, very easy. Very easy. It's not hard to catch a bass. Not at all. It's not hard. I don't caught bass on hot dog before. It is not that hard to catch a bass. Okay? So the thing about it is where or how. Not even how or where. It's just learning to fish. The stagings, the seasons of the fish, like pre-spawn, post-spawn, spawn, all of that. Where these fish gonna be at? They gonna be deep, up shallow. Where they gonna be in whatever kind of cover because they're ambush type of fish. So they gonna be around some type of cover. Structure. They gonna hold up on something that they can ambush fish on. So that's all you really need to know. And from that, you just take it from that, man. You just take it from that. With me, I'm saying it because I learned how to fish when I was like 8. You know what I'm saying? 8, and I did it all my life, and I still do it right now at the age that I'm in, a young 45. So I love it, and I just don't make it complicated, man. There's a million guys on YouTube. Those guys get paid for half of the things they say and do, but do it for yourself and don't make it complicated. Okay? God bless. And one more thing before I get out of here. Give God some time. Pray to God for hard times and pray to God for whatever problems you have in your life. Because you know why? He trusts us too. So we should trust him too. And with that being said, hope you guys have a nice, great day. I know first day of school for the kids. Nah, hey, let's get the day on. I'm finna get out of here. We going into the hottest months of the year, and I plan on making more of these videos, and definitely planning on catching more fish. Till next time, peace.